I would like to introduce my wife, first of all. She's the one that the people love, the children love, and that I love. So, it's really great that
Just sit right there, but you can't see me.
we're able to come and present this to you today.
Can I present photos?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we had a presentation she reminded me of. I always already forgot first names.
Well, one thing we found out about people in Uganda is even if they don't have anything, they still give you something over and over and over again. So this is from Pastor Kim, and this is from Ebenezer Baptist Church and the people, and this is for you from Ebenezer Baptist Church. You'll have to see what that is.
And we have another presentation also, as Stephen had this drum ordered special for this church as a gift in appreciation of the prayers and everything that they've done for the bicycles and everything. And so that's really a great thing. So. Now I was thinking we have I guess the same thing that's up there right here, so I don't forget that. But anyway, this is Uganda, and for years, when we thought of Africa, we thought of the deep darkness, the darkness spiritually of Africa, and throughout the whole country of Africa, many missionaries have gone there to teach and to tell people about Jesus Christ. And today, I would like to present a verse from Isaiah 9:2. It says, "The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light." And today, the great light is shining out of Uganda. As we're speaking now, Stephen is preparing to go into three other countries: Rwanda, Tanzania, and Congo. And he's going to have a 2-week thing, just visiting churches which have already been established in those countries out of Uganda. And so, and then there's many other missions also in there. That's just Stephen. But we heard about people going into these other countries and so on. But anyway, this was the Great Light. And of course, we know what the Great Light is. In John chapter 1, it talks about Jesus Christ is the light. And without him, there's no light at all, really. And a small light shines a long way. And he's a big light. Okay, so this was, James.
We're going to try to take turns.
Yeah.
See this big suitcase? It holds 49 pounds. What we did is we made a decision. We didn't take clothes with us because we weren't quite sure what we'd be wearing. Instead, we filled the suitcase with glasses for the pastors, candy, toys, Dollar Tree, other stuff. So that's 49 pounds of blessing that we got to take.
We were able to give this out at all the churches and so on, and then we developed another thing. Now, we had a layover in Amsterdam. This is Amsterdam, and what I really noticed about this is how clean the country is there.
And if you look, you see, this is what Amsterdam is known for.
Yeah. You can see the picture, Jim.
Okay. They're very proud of being state-of-the-art and ecologically straight, but we couldn't find the gospel there, and that made us sad.
There was one place where there's 5 acres of nothing but bicycles, and we were reading statistics. There's 30,000 bicycles a year stolen in Amsterdam. So, but that's more than most nations have, I think. But they have a number of things. This is one of the remaining windmills from. It's the only one that's still in Amsterdam. There used to be many of them in Amsterdam.
There are other parts of the country, but not in Amsterdam.
Yeah. Holland is known for windmills. And but throughout the country, they have less than they used to have.
We thought you'd like to see this. We told you about bicycles. That's a green light that says the bicycles get to go, and it's right on their stoplight.
They have 3 different roads there. Basically, they have bike paths, which have the right of way over everything else, and they have pedestrian places that are sometimes infringed on by the bicycles, and they have cars, and so they have lights for all 3 of those things.
This morning, you remember Pastor Stephen when he was here? That's Pastor Stephen trying to. We spent the first 3 days we were there in Kampala, the main city, because we were kind of getting our clocks back to Uganda time. And this is lunch that we had there.
Yeah, we were brought into this place, and for $25 a night per couple, we also included breakfast in our own little cabin. So that was really, I thought it was quite reasonable.
My daughter Joy and her husband Mark sponsored a couple through Stephen, and so we got to meet. In essence, maybe they're our grandkids over here, as Joy and Mark have such a shoebox with things for them. I do. You skip one. Okay. And this is Carol. She's the other half of Stephen's ministry. She manages his home. Stephen is single, but he has 8 foster kids that live in his house. So she kind of is the secretary to the ministry. She was an interpreter, and mostly she just kept us fed. She kept our laundry done, kept the kid, and those children work, and they're diligent. That's the biggest word for those. For my new African grandchildren is diligent.
Yeah, she was an automatic washer, automatic dryer, a kitchen aide. Actually, she did all those things. It was really great.
And remember, they cook outside. They don't cook in their homes, so they cook over a campfire. They do laundry in 3 tubs instead of a washing machine, because their power is so intermittent they can't depend on having electricity. Go ahead.
Well, this was some birds that we saw. We were going down to visit a church, and they had these birds. But the unique thing is that these great big birds were in there, and there was a dog in there was playing with them, and they would chase him, and he would chase them. And they're really having a great time. I really thought it was really. I don't even know what these great big birds are either. Really.
You got that something.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well,
you want to tell
this is a mega church in Kampala. It was huge, and we were there for their service for a little bit. But the thing that you have to adjust to over there is because they've had so much war and they've got infringement. In order to go into this church, you had to go through a complete security system. I mean, they did the lawn, they checked your pockets, and did the whole, just like going on an airplane to get into the church, because who knows who's going to infiltrate their church.
All the banks and grocery stores have men there with rifles to guard them. But we decided to shop for clothing. It's like I said, we left our clothing here, so we went to the flea market, and we got a couple pair of pants for me. I bought 3 pair of pants, and one of them the zipper was bad, and the other one didn't fit right, and out of the 3 I got one. So I didn't do a very good job of
But at
shopping.
$2.50, $1.50 to $2.50 for a pair of pants, what are you going to expect, right? Yeah.
Well, then the ladies got these wraparound things that they liked, and so that was worth a lot.
So this is Roy paying money.
Yeah, I was having to go in my wallet, and Carol, she looked at my wallet, she grabbed the right thing and give it to him. And she also saved me a lot of money, because she would ask them, is this the American discount or is this the Ugandan price? The American discount is about 50% more than what.
And she would say, these are my friends. These are good people. Don't you do that to them.
Yeah, and so, and that was, I heard that question asked many times. And Stephen asked that one time to a guy, and he said, "Oh yeah," and then so he spoke in this man's language, and I meant, "Oh yeah, well we can give you a little better price on this." So anyway, but it was neat that way.
So this is down, this is again on the market. Only here you see they're selling food in the baskets as you go down the market. I'm not quite sure what that number was. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, there was a lot of produce, all kinds of produce there. Matter of fact, at one time, Stephen said that must have been where the Garden of Eden started because everything is there so great and everything. This is downtown Fort Portal. This is when it wasn't busy.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the picture of Stephen's church. Stephen's church is it goes a long ways back there, and then you go inside the church, and it's part of this. But this is the entrance to
You
it.
see the sign up there? So he's got a store on this side, a store on that side, and then his church sort of sweeps down the middle, and that's everything.
He keeps people in there that are living in there. They stay in there, and one reason is for security, but another is because they need a home. And then there's another man by the name of Milton who comes down and spends a lot of nights down there, and nobody else is there to guard. They had a $3,000 PA system was stolen from the church, and they thought that the guy that they had watching it was kind of instrumental in the demise of it. So anyway,
One thing Stephen said was if anybody in America could come up with a good price or had a PA system, that he would come to America and get it, which I like.
yeah. If anybody has one, if they're updating and so on, the old one would be very suitable for over there, and we thought we'd start looking for one also. So if you know of one, let us know. This is a market. These people, they come in on Tuesdays to this trade center where we were. This was 4 hours away from Stephen, but they would actually come in these big trucks, and they're loaded with all these people, and then all the people that do all the loading and everything and all the selling and everything ride on top of the truck, on top of all the produce and all the other goods and stuff that they have.
This trade center is where the children started following me. If any of you followed my blog, I started collecting children all the way back to the church. So Roy said I had about 50 kids that were all following me, wanting to touch my skin. They want to check your hair. They want to see this. We laughed. I had a little boy take me apart here because he thought maybe.
He looked here and he looked there, saw white, so he wanted to find out if it was the same in the middle.
Anyway, okay. This is where the village gets their water. That's the hand pump, and I'm sure some of you my age know about those, but that's their water. And the fun part for me was the little boy, his job was to hold the crank and jump up and down. That's all he did. He jumped up and down while his older brothers and sisters switched out the water cans.
This was put in all over the country by the Red Cross and the United Nations and other organizations that furnished wells.
Yeah, you will see children, everywhere children. Over half of the population is under 15. It's a young country.
Yeah, and that's as Jane presented many times, that's the future of Uganda, and that they need to take care of these children.
Usually.
This is Pastor Christopher and I, and Pastor Christopher was saved when the missionaries came into Uganda in 1969, and he has been serving the Lord. He became a pastor of the church where Stephen's church, and he's just really a fabulous person. He came over in a rainstorm with his suit on and everything, riding one of the bicycles that we sent to Uganda, and to tell us goodbye. And he was just soaking wet. We had to take his coat off and hang it up and put a towel around him and stuff. And so he really was, but it was just really great that he came to see us.
He loved the bicycle because now he can take his wife out to the ministry. So Roy's 75, Christopher's 73. They have a lot in common.
Quite a bit.
And you see my dress? This is how Carol and I dressed for Easter. Just go ahead.
Okay. There's actually there's a story behind the dress also
You'll see
that,
later.
oh, okay, that's later on. I'll let you tell that later.
There's a good one.
This is a picture of every time that I preached or taught, Stephen was there translating for me. And one time when we were in the refugee camp and so on, I had two translators, and so I would speak, and then Stephen would speak, and then the other person would speak. But it takes an act to get used to the translators. And I was going to say, if I stop right in the middle and start looking around, it's because I'm waiting for the translator to tell you what I'm saying. And so, but it was really great, and I really appreciated the translators there. And Carl was one of them, and Stephen was one of them, and there were a number of others.
And people always need prayer, and they always need fellowship, and they come around you, and there's no physical restraint. I mean, it's not proper. It's hugging, patting. And
They asked for everyone that needed prayer to come forward, and most of the church came forward for prayer. And one place we had people that had special needs came, and I don't think I put my hand on so many heads in my life, and prayed for each one of them. And so we prayed quite a while, but I just praise God, and they believe in prayer, and they need prayer. We've been asked by ladies and everything, older ladies and so on, to pray for them.
Oh, it's just me and my buddies again. Look at that. That was my whole month, and it's why I missed it. This is the story. See the lady in the black skirt and the white top? She's a principal of a Christian school. And what happened is, when I first met her, you'll probably see it later, she was wearing this dress. And I loved it, and I just sort of...
But there's not back.
There she is. And I told her she looked really great. Well, what did she do? She went home, changed clothes, and brought me the dress. And that's what I get to wear today. The school that she and her son have a school of maybe 120 kids. And if anybody has any extra in your sharing money, these kids sit on a bench. They don't even have, it's a bench. It's not a table. And then they write up from their laps. And sometimes they share paper, sometimes they share books. The school system, and those kids, they know that their future is in their education. They are so diligent, and their papers are, anyway.
The school also had an $800 mortgage on the land, and which I think now that God has provided for that since the time that they gave us this, and we started praying about it.
But they need ongoing funds to keep the school going.
But the church involved with them, the money was sent for the roof, but it only went about 2/3 of the way to the metal roof for the church. And so when it rains, they're in one end of it, but when the sun shines, they're in the other end. So anyway, they managed to get it done, but they really need a little bit more money for that. It seems like all the churches have needs and so on. One school we went to, or speaking of schools, one school we went to has 140 children, 4 teachers. And so that, you can imagine how thin that spread.
And a government field that they couldn't use because they didn't have a soccer ball. But we left them a soccer ball. So
Yeah, that's another thing. It's just something like a soccer ball. They have recess so they can go out and sit and look at this field. I wish they had a ball. And I asked them why didn't they play soccer, and they said, well, you got to have a ball to do that. And so we stopped at the store on the way and got a ball.
More church, more children, beautiful singing, beautiful harmony, rhythm. They're beautiful.
Yeah, we had a number of groups of children came in and sang to
Another
us.
one. And they all want their picture taken with Grandma and Grandpa.
Well, we were really curious about these, this is Scooby-Doo Stationery store.
They
And
pull
they,
things from America.
They copy so many things off of America, and then they have other things, like you'll see it all across the top of it. It says God's big truck across the front of the truck there. So God is really mentioned all over the place.
We started collecting those.
Yeah.
Now, this is Stephen's birthday, and you'll notice the cake, and he has 2 huge
Candles.
candles. That's what they do for their birthday cakes. Now watch.
There's what happens when you light it. We turned out the light so we could see them. So anyway,
We got to go to a wedding. One of the ladies that was instituted in church got married. A wedding ceremony in Uganda starts in the morning at about 8 o'clock, and we're still going at 5 with different ceremonies and things. And so I thought we were late. We got there at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we still sat and enjoyed.
well, that was when Stephen knows the procedure of it, and there were a lot of preliminaries that we didn't need to be there for, so we came with that. But we found what we found out there is that we were the special guests, and so we came in. Well, after the thing, first of all, I was talking to someone, and Milton, who is our, he kind of coordinates things a little bit for us and takes pictures and all kinds of stuff. But he came and he said, the bride and groom have requested that you be down, to go down where they're taking pictures. So we went down there, and the bride and groom wanted to have their picture taken with us. So then after that, then we went to another place where the reception was going to be held, and they had special chairs for us in the front.
Now you gotta understand,
We didn't
we didn't know the bride and groom, and there are 400 other guests that are sitting around that did know.
But they were actually members of Stephen's church, or she was. But anyway, then so we sat there, and then when it came time to eat, well, they had a special place at the front of the line for us, and so it just was really. I mean, I was royalty.
Respect and honor in Uganda come with age. If you're going to retire someplace and have silver hair, that's a great place.
And now, and then I heard our guest speaker now is going to present. I said, oh, where's my outline? Up here, I guess. But anyway, I managed to have a few tidbits that I'd heard about weddings and marriages and stuff, along the way, and some things that Jane taught me. so anyway, yeah. Okay, now when all the ministries and stuff were done, we went to. I mentioned we went to 14 different churches, and just sometimes a day. We'd sometimes take a day off. Sometimes we'd be going for 4 days without stopping. But we'd take a day off every once to rest. But when it got to the last week, then Stephen said, "Well, we're now going to go to the park." And so we went to the park, and this is the antelope that they have there. And the guide that we had said that the lions basically live off of these antelope.
It's also the national animal of Uganda, and I'm sorry, I don't have that name.
But anyway, and that's what we see a lot of around is monkeys, I guess. but anyway, we were driving down the road, and here these animals here came, and there's so many different names for them. I forget which one they were,
Call it monkey.
but they're a large monkey. Ape type thing, and then we went a little bit further from the apes there, and we came across a herd of elephants, and this was one we got a picture of there, and then we went up to the lodge, and we had lunch at the lodge, and then we came back down in the afternoon and took a boat tour, and these are hippopotamus.
I've never believed in my long life, that I would ever be in a boat within 5 feet of a hippopotamus. That's just going down.
Or 10. But hippopotamuses are very dangerous in the water. They're attributed to the most in Africa. They're attributed to the most water deaths in that, and they will actually capsize a boat but capsizing the boat's not enough, they'll try to kill the occupants. And why, I don't know, I don't understand that, but, on the way back from the park, Stephen whipped in real quick at this place, and I said, what are we stopping here for? And he pointed over there, and I saw this thing that says Equator. And so we had to have our picture taken on the Equator. That's the only time I've ever been there.
Okay, you tell me.
Well, this is Sam. He's lives in Stephen's house. Both of his parents are dead, and another young lady that is now in college and so on was living there at Stephen's and got Stephen to investigate this boy and bring him in because he was kind of living on the street. He was working for a farmer, and he would actually steal some of the milk that he was getting as the only food because the farmer wouldn't give him any food. He just enough money for school. And so anyway, he's studying to be an electrician right now. This is one of the markets we came to this is some of the produce there. This is cabbages. And I've never seen so many cabbages in my life. There must be, there's just tons of them there. And they have big trucks of them and stuff. But
they're not a hungry people there.
But this is a different market than the first one we had, but they have similar stuff there. This is Stephen's farm that he has. He inherited this with his brothers. And then he inherited some other land that we have plans over there to do that, to build. What we want to build is a school actually for pastors and other people. And also one thing that we have is that so many people can't read because of the fact that it costs for school. The oldest child in the school, in the family, a lot of times would go to school, and the rest of them, 4 or 5 other children and so on, would not be able to go to school. But that's the plan there. And this is one of the pastors on one of the bicycles that was sent there, and he's able to visit his parishioners and so on.
They're so proud of those bicycles you all sent that day.
Yeah.
More children.
And this is a group of people that outside one of the churches. This is about 2 miles from.
This is the school. This is the school that
Oh,
we're
I'm sorry.
children.
Look at it.
This is the one that had 4 teachers.
Yeah.
And I put my hand out. All the kids put their hands out
Yeah.
with me, and that's a picture.
They want to touch somebody that's from America. So anyway, that's neat. And of course, then we were talking about signs. That's another one they have there. Glory to God stationery. But it's really funny because we went in another stationery store and it says Grace Stationery Store. And Jane drew my attention to the fact that now they have not Glory to God, but they also have Grace. And I told her, well, yeah, that's Stephen's aunt, and her name was Grace. But anyway.
This is candy. If you've got my blog, we gave candy out to all the children. And this particular time, we didn't have enough, but God made it stretch through the whole church and even to the kids that were outside.
It should never have reached everybody, but it did. And even the kids standing outside the door got some. It was just
Stephen said, I think this is a little bit like loaves and fish.
For the 5,000. And the church under the tree is really close to our heart because these people built a church and it was on top of this hill, and the wind blows real stiff wind from this way for a while and then from this way for a while, and it ratcheted the church back and forth until the church fell down actually. But they were still going to meet there on the property they had, and so they got under this tree, and they would meet under the tree, and even when it was shade when it's hot. And then when it rained, I think they bring in umbrellas and stuff. Originally, it was 10 people meeting under a tree. And that's when Stephen was here. He actually heard about the church being blown down and people were meeting under a tree. And started working on that. And we brought a service there and encourages people to rebuild and to really, but I've never seen such faith. They just have tremendous faith that God is going to do that. I mean, the devil blew our building down again, but he's never going to do it again. So it was it was really a great thing, and we just love these people here too. They're just really, really neat. And then they had a big rock there, and people that didn't really want to join the church, they come up there to hear the service that we're having, so that was really great too. This is another one, the Church on the Rock, a different view there. People, there must have been, I think about 35 people there now, so it's tripled since the church blew down. So it's really increasing. There's another church on. But one thing, while we were there, Stephen actually brought a check. They were praying for money they needed $200 to build a foundation to start building their church on. And when we went, Stephen brought a check for $200 that somebody had donated for that. And so as we were praying for it, God provided. Now this is more preaching in a different place.
They decorate their churches. Oh, this.
Yeah, and but you go and tell that to me.
I'll try to tell it fast. But she said she had a cane, and she wanted to meet the American pastors, and so she brought herself over to us and wanted us to pray. And she was the older people in Uganda. If you can live past 60, you might live to 100. That's just sort of how it goes. And I'd like maybe at a later date to speak specifically on this. This is tatting, and I'll probably make it fast. I'm a tatter. I love to tat. I learned from my mom. The kids need school fees, and the girls and I figured out Operation B, which stands for Believing in Education and Dreams. And I need help from you all, and that's why I want to come and present it to you. We want to make an internet sales space for the earrings that they make so that they can be sold and their money can go to school fees.
Why not?
And we're looking at YouTube. And I can tat, I can love, but business, it's not there yet. So if someone can help me, I would love it. And ladies always get together for fellowship. We share our babies. We talk about our hands and the work. And it's the same there. We just had this ladies' time of talking about lady stuff.
The ladies, the pink purse over there was a special gift to Jane from the ladies of the church. In fact, two different churches got together.
My jewelry, Ugandans give.
And this is Winging It Home.
Winging It Home.
From Amsterdam to Seattle. We go over the North Pole and down. And this is a picture of the ground down below. This is the snow. We came over. This is going over real close to the North Pole. We went over Iceland, Greenland, and then on home. So I hope that's been beneficial to everyone.
Haven't asked us questions. We'll talk forever.
I'm sure that.
Roy, Jane, thank you. And then right afterwards, we're going to have Roy and Jane stand up by their table. And if you have questions that you'd like to ask them, also in your bulletin, there's a sheet.